This is Sam Hoop with the Institute for Justice. I want to talk a little bit more about co-living or single room occupancy. I'm here in downtown Austin. I came to the office to do a little bit of work today, and there's been a lot of talk recently in urbanist circles about how a lot of the apartments that are built downtown at the moment, whether they're kind of 5/1s or taller buildings like the ones behind me, how they're just not suitable for families, and how one of the reasons you have big exodus of people with young families leaving the city for the suburbs is just because you don't have those larger 3-4 bedroom apartments with a yard that are suitable for families. And I think that's very true, and people like Alicia, Courtyard Urbanist, who has a great Twitter and online presence and social media, talks a lot about how you can build some of those more family-friendly units, particularly courtyard buildings, so individually owned, separately built, small multifamily buildings that together make up a courtyard that share an enclosed private yard for kind of common living. But I think at the other end of the market, smaller than a one bed or a studio, there's also a gap in cities. Yes, we have a problem with families, but we also make it very difficult for people who can't currently afford a full one bedroom apartment to live in the center of the action. And that can be young professionals with their first job, maybe out of college, looking to do that, to be near their work and near the center of social life in Austin. Or it can be people with very low income, maybe people that have been homeless or one step away from homelessness, trying to stay away from that also can't afford a studio apartment. And SROs, single room occupancy or modern co-living, is a great way to help people like that, because when you share kitchen, bathroom and other communal facilities with other people and just rent a private lockable bedroom, the costs are much lower. They're a lot lower to build, they're a lot lower to convert spare office buildings, underutilized commercial space into residential than it is to convert them into whole one-bedroom apartments or studios. And that's because of issues like plumbing and electricity. It's easier if you can have all of those communal facilities, electricity, plumbing and stuff in the central stack, rather than having to run water and electricity to every single room. So while I absolutely agree, I think it's a great point that we need more family-friendly apartments in the middle of cities. There's also a missing thing at the lower and the smaller end as well. For individuals, whether they're young professionals, whether they're people moving to a new city for the first time, still trying to scope out where they want to be, whether it's people at the bottom end of the housing market, trying to stay away from homelessness, keep safe, dignified, private accommodation, single room occupancy and modern co-living is a great opportunity for them. It's the reason that IJ is coming out with the Room Act, our new model legislation that will legalize that, and I'm excited to share that with you next week. For now, this is Sam Hooper with the Institute for Justice here in Austin, Texas.